So hello and welcome people back to Hybrid Heaven, and now we're fighting another one of the Men in Black. I'm going to be skipping most of the encounters from now on, the ones that have nothing too interesting, or or that we've seen already. Well, mostly the ones that we've seen already and have nothing interesting in them. So we're not gonna see too much of Men in Black unless something cool happens.
You know, that said, you know what I have not noticed about the Men in Black until now?
What?
They're wearing the battle visors from Nier Automata.
Well, actually, speaking of that, I believe this is the battle where I actually show off that if you use an upper punch, I said you use an upper punch.
Give it a sec.
Yeah. If you use an upper punch on them, you can actually get rid of their glasses.
That's actually a nice little attention to detail.
Yeah, you wouldn't really expect it, which is why I'm... There we go. Sometimes, most of the times it falls off and you can actually see it on the floor somewhere. I mean, you could if this wasn't a Nintendo 64 game. I know it happens sometimes, and I had it happen in the past. It's like, shit, you're...
This guy's always just like, just out of reach of your attacks.
Yeah, because that's their thing. They keep far away from you, and sometimes even too far away for their own good. Because they will try to kick you while on the distance for a shot.
Sadly, they did not train in Shotokan Karate, so they don't know how to throw Hadouken.
Upper right uppercut. And now you see he doesn't have his glasses.
Nice.
So that's what it has to be. It has to be an uppercut.
But yeah, I think we've deduced the truth. Yoko Taro ripped off of Hybrid Heaven.
I mean, there is no like specific body parts development system. But you do go from the sexier main protagonist to the less sexy one.
AKA Drakengard 1 to Drakengard 2.
Well, no, I mean like with Nier Automata, you begin as 2B and then you're forced to play as 9S.
Yeah, yeah.
I fucking love how brutal the grabs are.
Well, man, that's like the staple of wrestling is grappling. They had to.
Exactly. We just like see now the more fire damage you take, the less damage you will take eventually.
Shouldn't it be like the opposite? I'm pretty sure if in real life you're horribly burned, you're gonna take more damage.
I mean, we do have that suit which gives us incredible powers of Mr. Diaz. And you know, he's not human.
Yeah. Diaz was the real protagonist.
Yes. And he's finally done. See? Got an A rank.
S rank. But yeah, I've noticed this this system really is like a better version of Final Fantasy II. Like, I'm pretty sure we've said that already.
Mm-hmm.
But just, it really does make a lot more sense and is a lot more player friendly and not insane.
Not insane, and also doesn't force you to like kill your party members
in order to get them better. Yes.
Beat up your friends. It's for their own good.
Seriously.
Final Fantasy II is just so sadistic.
It is.
But yet thankfully we're not gonna be fighting him anymore.
Gonna punch his head off.
I had to I had to sit through so many encounters with them. Thankfully, they do not damage you when you're near them and they explode.
Back Crusher, ooh.
That sounds crunchy.
Yeah.
Sadly, there's nothing in these rooms, but there is sometimes something inside of these corridors. Well, not inside of these corridors, but inside of the corridors going to the middle, which I will go back for later.
Right.
They love hiding things like just behind your camera view. And I believe you do. I don't believe it is necessary for you to go through each and every single one of these rooms. They are all optional stuff, but as we have established, optional stuff is not really optional. I mean, it is optional. You could just play the game. You could just make the game more difficult for you. But I think it's more fun when you can just, crush your enemies.
Sure, you rep with them and then they disappear in a puff of smoke.
Mm-hmm. I mean, at the very least, they specifically established that that is what happens to the hybrids from the very start. So it's not just like, oh, it's just because video game and we can't have them rendered the whole time. Although they actually could, because the enemies do not randomly spawn, as it were. They're always part of the the level of geometry of the room.
Yeah.
But I guess it would be a little bit too much data to keep track of, and this game already uses like the most memory out of any Nintendo 64 game there is. Like, if you have don't play this game on Nintendo 64, please, because of the horrible memory cards, as I said before. But when you do, you pretty much always have to delete everything else from that memory card, because there is no space for the save data otherwise.
Ain't got space.
And it's really weird too, because the save points are very specifically located, and it's like, you don't have much of a unique inventory, nor do you have any sort of equips. All it has to do is keep track of how many you have of this or that, which save point you saved at last, and how much stats you have in this or that. I mean, obviously there are a lot of stats because you have both defensive and offensive for each and every body part, including your head.
Still don't know how you're supposed to level your head up.
I don't know. There is supposed to be a way. There is supposed to be a way to do that. I think there may just be some techniques which you use it, but it seems that all of them just go off of your body. And I've run around in a circle in order to get to the save point. Just in case there is a boss lurking around next up, and I would have to redo this whole thing all over again. You can never save too much.
Yeah.
Preferably on 2 memory cards, if you're already playing this game, because then there is 50% chance you'll be able to beat the game. Because they run
as opposed to 25.
Ah, jeez. That freaking reminds me. I do like that they do give you a screen clear ability, in order to escape from battle if you so needed to, which is actually really well put together, since generally you don't want to avoid getting into encounters, but you still have that option. You still have that option to escape, and it's 100%.
Right.
Unlike how it is with some other RPGs, what comes to mind is Persona 1, where you have to use an item in order to have 25% chance of escape from battle.
God.
Use an item to have 25% chance. At this point, escape as a function in battle becomes so completely pointless. And I mean, somebody is going to point out, hey, you can avoid battles by not by going into conversation and, you know, getting the conversation right. It's not the point. It's like, why would you make an item which gives you such an absurdly low amount of odds?
Because fuck you, that's why.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, escape otherwise, like escape from battle otherwise, just because you also have a regular escape, never works. Never does. I made a video which is 10 minutes long, which is sped up 4 times, of me trying to escape from an encounter, until the enemy got bored of me and ran away. The AI got bored with the encounter and let me live. Because none of my characters could do anything. Because it was everybody was charmed, but nobody was strong enough to actually kill each other because I never equipped any good weapons on anybody. Because attacks are worthless. They wouldn't do enough damage to me. So it just went on for 10 minutes. And it was in the PSP version on 4 times speed. Skipping turns every time because nobody could actually act. Imagine doing that in the original version, which has the exact same gameplay except 4 times slower.
God.
Yeah, like at that point you just sort of learn to always go into the conversation with this particular enemy type, and this place is actually really nice looking. Like that whole drill thing.
Yeah.
Very, like it's very imposing, even though the graphics are trash, obviously. But just the fact that this is there is this gigantic construction here.
Yeah, like a turbine or something like that.
Yes, and like it just gives you the feel of scale, how big of a place this is.
Right. I mean, we are still inside the spaceship, right?
Yes, we've been inside of the spaceship from the very beginning, but like this is one of those first occasions where you see the actual parts which would make it run, so to say.
Right.
And like just the fact that it moves, it's like, and how I cannot grab this thing unless I just think of it. Yes, perfectly.
What's better about this than Overblood was?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is. I mean, comparing anything to Overblood is like. It's like comparing storytelling in anything to Shining Force Neo, or Zoid's Legacy, or Harry Potter 3 on the GBA. I mean, the other Harry Potter games had a ridiculous story, but at least they were coherent somewhat. The dialogues didn't sound like Czech translated to Chinese, retranslated to English, translated to Finnish, and then to English again. That wasn't the one. This part of the dungeon, it has 2 ways to go, and you sort of have to go back and forth between the 2 of them if you want to get everything. So like, dispersing that one has uncovered has gotten rid of a shield somewhere around here, and you can go around here to get to the next part, which will uncover the shield out there. Ah, we haven't defeated enough of you yet.
Clearly.
Pile
Back
driver,
crusher, back
yes.
crusher. Damn it, Nico!
Well, I hope I eventually do use the back crusher, but I just like it is with the body parts. I just generally stick to several of the abilities which seem to be the best, because if I keep using them, they will become better. That's just how it works.
Nico, you just disappoint me.
Okay.
Don't you know, Nico, that the whole point of Let's Playing is to play inoptimally?
I'm sorry, but this... Wait, no, you're talking about a long play, and this is actually a long play, but it isn't inefficient. I was trying to fit within the time limit.
No.
12 hours.
The whole point is that you have to play as shittily as possible, so that way you can make little kids laugh at how inept you are and make mad YouTube dollars.
So, Dark Side Phil? School
Yes.
of Let's Playing?
Yes.
Although most people will watch his videos on other channels, which is kind of a conundrum.
Well, at least they're not giving him money then. That's the important part.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, recently, just out of fucking nowhere... Oh, by the way, I do get rid of glasses of every black man in black.
Every
Man in black!
Holy shit!
Man in black that I see.
Damn!
Punch them in the face.
Nico, that's really weirdly specific style racism, just saying.
Just specifically the ones with glasses.
Black people aren't allowed to wear glasses, apparently.
Apparently not.
Holy shit.
So, like, taking attention away from my misplaced racism, what I was gonna say is, recently, out of fucking nowhere, I got a copyright strike on the my Jackie Chan Adventures Let's Play, and
Why?
and it wasn't even any part that included any sort of video from the series. It was a random ass part, not even the ending or like the beginning, and it was actually detected by hand. Like, some asshole looked up a whole bunch of videos and claimed them for, like, you know, me using the Jackie Chan license. And I'm like, I disputed it, obviously. I'm not getting any money from these anyway.
Right.
But this shit ain't right. It's just like, if I were uploading full episodes of the series, then absolutely yes, that is not right, especially not in a place like this, where
Right.
people actually get money, for viewing ads on these. But you know, a game based off of a show that doesn't actually even use cutscenes from the show, that's going a bit extreme.
Nico, go back. You're missing an item. Nico, go back. Go back, Nico. Nico, go back.
Why?
You missed an item. Nico,
What did I do?
you missed an item. Go back.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Thank God. Okay.
I was just first planning to get rid of all of them.
Mhm.
And besides, it was a stamina charge. I'm never using a single one of these.
You not miss a single item. That's the rule of RPGs. Okay.
I did eventually lose one item on purpose simply because it required a really, really, really hard platforming section with one hit kill, and it was like a small life charger.
Gross.
Yeah. I mean, I just wasted too much time doing that one, so I just reset the console because I've lost so many resources getting that one health potion. That was one of those Shin Megami Tensei 3 moments. Oh, you're still collecting treasure chests? What a noob. Here is a medicine in the final dungeon, the most remote location that you can find. And by the way, if you haven't grinded on the Man in Black, just do it here.
So are you for them or against them? Because, like, before you were like, oh, you're not allowed to wear glasses, fuck them. But now you're like, oh yeah, grind all over them, baby. Like, what the heck? Is it because is it because the glasses are a turnoff for you? Is that it?
Well, that's why I get rid of them. But the point is, if you haven't grinded on them, this is a spawning point here in the corner. So that's a good idea, even though they don't really have any particular techniques that are worth them, that you wouldn't have gotten up until this point. The resistance to fire they will inevitably give you is well worth the effort, because you can pretty much invalidate one of the bosses.
Just become fire retardant.
Exactly.